I did a funeral for a friend some time ago. Well, fairly recently, about 2 months ago, and during the interment, I realized that there were several police cars there and several soldiers. And it was now the new norm that at some of these funerals there would be police and soldiers, and it changes the landscape, it changes the feel, it changes everything when you have, sirens, blue sirens in the background and army fatigue, and you're trying to do a funeral, and you're trying to respect the grieving process, and you maintain some serenity at that moment, but you realize that things have changed somewhat and now there's going to be police and soldiers because of the threat to members of the public, and in particular if it's someone who died in suspicious ways. uh, Sometimes we feel like this world is out of order and way out of order, and it's all wrong, it's all gone off, and there's nothing decent in the world anymore. But that's not true, is it? Psalm 24 says, verse 1, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and the world and they that dwell therein. The world, the earth is the Lord's. It's all His. And though we come up against some of these things of individuals doing crime and corruption, and you see police and guns and all of this negative, hurtful, destabilizing things, unnatural things, where there should be serenity, there is, chaos and threat and anxiety and so on. Uh, the Bible still tells us that this world belongs to God. It is God's own. You look at the nature. I'm here in Portland, still here in Portland, by the Swift River, up in the mountains, and clearly, the rivers still run, they still work, and it's still serene here. It's still beautiful. There's places that you can still see the wonders of nature and God's goodness. So despite what we see in the world with people and how they're, behaving, and corruption and crime, you can still see that the world really, is well made, and the birds still do their thing as God made them to do their thing, and the plants, the trees still produce. I'm seeing coconut trees, and they're laden with coconuts, and there's fish in the river. So the world is still working. There's still a process of the world working, despite our structures seeming chaotic and things seeming chaotic around us. The river is still running, yeah, and the fish still swimming, the birds still singing, clouds still forming, and it's still a beautiful world. So despite the ugliness in the world of the guns and the violence and and seeing all of the tears and hearing all of the wailing and the weepings, there's still a lot to give thanks for, because the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. There's still a lot of beauty in the world, and we need to give thanks for what does exist in the world, and we need to seek it out and be purposeful that we're going to enjoy it. While this world is tough and while it's hard and we see stuff, let's get back to the finding the beauty in the world, and purposefully enjoying those things, so that we're not overcome by the difficulties in the world and the ugliness in the world. Find the beauty in the world. Let's find the beauty in the world and enjoy it. Let's find the calm places again. Let's go there together. Let's, look at there's a saying, stop and smell the roses. Let's be purposeful about stopping and smelling the roses, because if we don't, then we think that the governments control the world. Then we think that the criminals control the world, and we go into a position of darkness and despair, and it's not true. When you go by the beach, it's still, the winds are still blowing, and the waves are still crashing in, and it's still lovely there. The sun is still rising and in its glory and setting in its splendor. The moon is still there to be seen. The stars in the sky, the birds, are there to be watched. And there's a lot of beauty to be found in the world, and there's a lot of health in appreciating the beauty, so that the stresses of the world do not overcome us. So I'm challenging you, if you're watching, to go back into nature. Find somewhere to be able to appreciate God's beauty, even right where you are. You go outside, look at the flower again, look at the bird again, appreciate the puppy a little more, appreciate the cat again, appreciate the lizard instead of shooing it. Just take a look at how it functions. In fact, in Proverbs it says, go to the ant and watch the ants, because they're so masterful. Something as simple as the ants. You can be awestruck by the ants. And look how much we have. Much more than the ants. We have the fishes, we have the birds, we have the plants. There's so much. I'm seeing a beautiful hummingbird right now. It's Jamaica. A beautiful hummingbird with a very long tail. When last did you stop to really take it in? I want to encourage you to stop and take it in, and so that you'll enhance your life and you'll enhance your own experience in this life, and realize that it's not the governments or the businesses or corrupt individuals that run the world. They may be in the world, and they may be functioning, and there may be a lot of crime and corruption, but the world is still beautiful. It's still God's earth, as the scripture says. The earth is the Lord's, and it's still therapeutic to take in the wonders of God's earth, God's creation. It's still therapeutic, and it releases the stress, and it gets rid of the anxiety. Go swim in a river, go take a dip in a lake, take a dip in the ocean, and enjoy the waves crashing around you, and feel the sand under your feet. Again, take your shoes off by the grass, and just feel the grass going through your toes, around your toes, and appreciate that. Stimulate your senses, with nature. And, this river water is a bit cold, but it's good. It's good, stimulating your senses, The water at the beach, I was at the beach yesterday, and the water was warm, and that was good. Stimulate my senses. So I want to encourage you, though things have been tough in these times, and, lots of funerals, lots of issues with finances, a lot of issues with relationships and so on. I heard someone say, in fact, the one of the owners of the venue that I'm at, is making the point that relationships are strained right now, and so it's important to renew our relationship with nature. It was a very good point, and that's what I want to emphasize. Relationships between people are strained, but it's hard to strain. If you allow it, it's hard to strain your relationship with nature. If you just allow it and enjoy what exists, you'll be the better for it. There's a lot of plastic around us, a lot of man-made things, but there's much more God-made things. So enjoy nature and strengthen your connection, your relationship with what God has made, because the earth is the Lord's, and the world and the fullness thereof. It's all God's. So despite what we see, despite some of the ugliness and the hurtful things, there's much more to give thanks for and to enjoy. It's all around you, wherever you are, whether you're in the States or you're in Canada or you're wherever you are. I'm sure you can find a lot of nature around you to enjoy. If you're in a built-up city, go to the park. Unfortunately, while I was in Barbados, I didn't make the most of the beach, and enjoy all that it had. I was so busy. Please don't do that. Take time to enjoy the natural things around you, because it adds to the value of life. It adds to the value of your days. It enhances your life experience. It probably propels, pushes your life expectancy too, being in touch with nature. Remember, if you subscribe to the Bible, man was made from the soil, right? We come from the ground, and so we need the contact with nature to enhance our lives. Thanks for watching. I bless you. I declare God's blessing on you. Return, get back into contact with nature and enjoy life. Take care.